to talk about it, I'm gonna welcome to the stage Robert. Wordle. Hi.
So, good morning, everyone. How are we? Yeah, fabulous. Talking about growth early in the morning is like a challenge. It's bold. When we look at social media, we see a lot of growth. How you should embrace yourself and how you should grow as a person, how you should work out, how you should eat, who you should date, how you should live, and everything like that. I myself has watched people who are working out and doing diets for 3 years and been very inspired by it, but it hasn't helped me at all because I've done it from my sofa eating chips. So it doesn't really work. And that's how we see growth most of the time in social media today, and it's very inspirational, it's very aesthetically nice, and it's linear. But actual growth, it's awkward. It's uncomfortable and it's full of failures. Where do you learn the most? Yeah, by failing by something and then trying again and again and again. And I've done that a lot in my life. When I got asked to do this, I thought of a sentence that could conclude what I'm talking about today, and I came up with this. Growth isn't pretty, but neither is the seed until it decides to break. And hi everybody, my name is Robert by day and Gretchen by night. I work as a drag queen, and that's how I look when I work, and it's the same as you can see. And I've been doing this for so many years, and I think I'm the only one in Scandinavia who does it full time, and it's impressive. I'm impressed myself. Really. And what do I do when I work? I DJ a lot. I've been all over Europe DJing, and I do all kinds of music. I've recently started going into techno, and I really love techno. Yeah, but in Sweden we play Schlager, and it's also nice. It's also nice. It's also very nice. I've been emceeing a lot for private events, for corporate events, for any kind of events. And I like that a lot as well. My strength as a MC or a host for a talk on stage is that I usually get everybody to say, I can be the stupid voice. If you have an expert, I can say all the things that everybody's thinking of, but nobody dares to say it because maybe I look stupid if I say it. And I take that role instantly, and it just worked out very, very nice. I've done a lot with engineers. They like to have hate. Drag and engineering is it's a match made in heaven. I do wine testings a lot. I don't know much about wine except that I like white wine and I like to drink it. But it's not a hinder for me. Most fun thing is that all the wine testings I've done is for like big hotel chains and restaurants. Everybody knows all about food and drinks, and I know nothing. And it's worked out very, very nicely every time. I like to improvise a lot, and I like to make up the things I don't know. And the constant truth is just a suggestion, right? Yeah, the real truth is just a suggestion, and then you decide what's true or not. I've been to over 50 elderly homes and doing shows, and that's a really nice thing to do. Great job, nice meetings with people, and it also feels like you do something for people who who are really put aside in society. Yeah, I like that a lot. I usually jokingly say that the only ones who understand my talents are those things I mentioned, patients. But that is not true. I hope that one or two of you can understand my talents after today as well. I host bingo. I've done that for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, I think. Recently in Stockholm for 3 years, very successfully, and out in the countryside. Countryside sounds weird. In smaller towns in Sweden, it's countryside. You come from Gothenburg or Stockholm. I host quiz with all kinds of themes. I usually say that I do anything but suicide because it's so final. And so if you suggest something, yeah, I will probably do it if it's in the right thing. I can tell your future as well in tarot cards. don't know anything about it, but it's also very nice to see you for having a great future. So find me on the right day, on the right time, and pay me the right amount of money, and you will have the best future you can ever imagine. But to get there, it was a little bit of a struggle. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I'm that old. Oh, is it true? Yes, it is. And I had a weird set of parents that you shouldn't have. My mother was bipolar and narcissistic. And my father, he left Hungary in 1956 and came here. And they should never have met. No. But then again, it's like in science, 2 minuses makes a plus. Yeah. So it came out quite good in the end. And they got divorced when I was 3 years old. My mother met a new man, my stepfather, and they went into a sort of codependent relationship where he had to have someone to take care of, and she had to be taken care of. So they found each other. It was amazing for them. She spent the rest of her life after they met in a hospital bed or in a bed. Waste of life, if you ask me. They also separated when I was 17, and then she suddenly started to go by bus and go to the grocery store and starting to do things and became more positive and happy. And then they went back together, and she was straight to the bed again. So that was my childhood. Very nice, if you like, a hard childhood. But then again, I'm a lonely child, and I don't regret or I don't feel anything hostile towards it, because without that childhood, I wouldn't be the one I am today. So I think that everything that life throws at you is a way to make you grow, right? Mm-hmm. That was quite hard. Also in the 70s and 80s, I'm not that old. You wouldn't know much about gay people. When I grew up, I didn't know that you could be gay. I knew that I was interested in boys, and everybody talked about, oh, you should meet a girl and you should have a family and 2.1 children and Volvo and Villa and everything that you should have. And it just didn't reconcile with me. So it was hard to know, okay, I felt weird and felt off, but I didn't know that you could be gay and that was a thing. So I decided quite early that I was gonna go for the career. And my first aim was surgeon. And while I was interested in surgery, I could watch surgery on television and eat at the same time. And now I can't stand seeing blood. So it's a mindset how you can treat yourself. Then it was journalist, and I think it was in the end was lawyer, and none of that happened. When I got into puberty, I was really, 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 really feminine. I was so feminine that everybody thought I was a girl. And I love that. This is quite a hot topic today when we have all the trans issues. But for me, it was never that was never the issue for me. I just wanted to be someone else. Because when you get into puberty and you're very feminine, you get bullied a lot in school. And that was one part of it. And when you came home, you had your mother, who was a monster some days and weirdly happy the other days. So everything was just weird. And when people thought I was a girl, I could be someone else. And why I was someone else, I also made up different background stories. I made myself a new set of parents that was better and more interesting. And we lived in a better place and everything. And that was sort of a freedom for me. And I think that started my creative career, creative thinking, really. So I really like that in that sense. And I was really, really bullied up till second year in high school. And then me and my best friend, this is also very weird, we hung together during all our school years, from first class till, all our school years. And he came out 2 years after me. I came out when I was 20. And he was 22 when he came out. And we never, ever had that discussion, never ever thought of that. And we were like best friends and hung out every day. But we were at his place one Saturday, and we decided, shouldn't we do a number at the soiree for the school? Yes, what should we do? And in the background, you had MTV, and Madonna had just released her single Vogue. We should do that. Typically normal teenage boys. deciding that. So we did everything, the choreography, the clothes, and it's not pretty, but it was fun. And it looked something like this. 17 years old, quite bold. And the most amazing thing happened. The bullying died overnight. And I went from being a nerdy, like picked on guy to being a popular kid. Very, very weird feeling. I got invited to VIP parties for only the popular ones, which mingling with 10 other people in somebody's home is really weird. Everything was very weird. And also, if I ever should be, you talked about cult before. If I should have started a cult, that would been the time. On the school, all the girls were like, "Oh, Robert is coming. Make space. Oh, tell us something. Oh, great master. How should we live our lives?" And also the boys, they were interested in the girls, so they didn't dare to do anything because then they were out in the cold. So it was a really powerful empowerment moment. And also we did another show. I think it was we call it RBM in Swedish, or Save the Blue Clan. Because in the 90s or early 90s, they had a lot of this save the world, save planet, save animals. So we did a twist on that by saving clams or oysters who had the most horrible lives you can imagine. And then we did a lot of celebrities in impersonations. And that was also really, really nice. They took this Madonna Vogue when we went to France for an exchange school experience. And I had to do it in a small town up in the mountains in France. And I got to sing with their local band as well. And they only knew one song, so we sang Barbara Ann for 45 minutes. But the power of drag can take you anywhere, even if you don't want to. So that was really nice. Also, going on stage was the first time I felt like free and felt liked and felt this is where I belong. So I decided to leave all the lawyer, the surgeon, the journalist things aside and wanted to go for a career on stage. So I went to a school called Performing Arts School, and I went in to be a musical performer, musical artist, and I went out as a dancer because who likes singing anyway? Take note, yeah? And also I did a couple of gigs in Gothenburg's Opera House and with a private theater. Welcome. But I didn't like to be one of 20 and be guy number 3 from the left. So at the same time I met 2 guys who had a drag group in Gothenburg, and we were 3 then. And we did a couple of shows at a place called Bacchus, who was, at the time was the oldest gay club in Sweden. And we were there every Friday with a new show until they moved away. Roger went to America and Jürgen to Stockholm, so I was left alone. All by myself. But I worked at the school where I went to Performing Arts School. I worked there for a couple of years, and one day a guy started there, and he had been doing drag. He was a Polish guy, and he'd been doing drag a lot in Sweden, so we decided to hook up. And we started drag online. This is the early 2000s, and the internet had just become a thing. So it was a smart name, we thought, drag online. And we were also 2 drag queens standing online. And if somebody didn't like drag, they could maybe think that it was a drag online. That was the creative height of that BT before. We toured all of Sweden for 7 years. I've been to over 100 Swedish towns, and I say that with crossroads, been everywhere, lot up north, very popular up north. And I have a couple of memories from there. The first time we went outside Gothenburg, we went to Dalarna. And we did a small tour on 3 cities, and we ended up in Orsa. Orsa is a very, very small place. And everybody told us before, if you're going to Orsa, they're going to kill you. It's only hunters and neo-Nazis there. And we went there, they dropped us off in Orsa, and you had the little town, and then you turn around, and then you have like nothing, just a big scary Bates Motel, and there we should perform. That was the place we should put the venue. So we went there, and actually it's the only time I've been really, really scared for my life. So we did our makeup and thought, okay, not many hours left in life, but we're not going to back out now because we really said yes to this, so we're going to do it. And in the audience, there were 200 people, one woman, everybody dressed in black leather because it was hunting season. And we were supposed to do a Eurovision show. And we did this show. And when we started with the opening number, it took like maybe 30 seconds. And then I had the biggest guy in the room standing up and dancing with us. So prejudice is good, right? And after that, I've never been scared wherever I've done, because people are people anywhere. And it's also a lot, what I've learned is it's a lot about my attitude to bring either the best or the worst out of people. I've been to places where everybody has the pickups outside, and it's you have racks for the guns in the cars, and it's like, oh, we love you, you're some fun. Really, I think they go home and punch the woman. I don't know. It's a weird society, but it's been very, very enlightening and very, very fun to do all this. But then again, after 7 years, we decided to break up because we weren't matched at all. Personally-wise, we were very good on stage, but you have to work with the people person. It's a lot of hours to spend together. So we broke that up, and I was a little bit lost, and started working with everyday work and fun and education. So I studied to become an event manager. Oh, that's the best, right? But during that, I learned one thing, and the best thing ever. If you want to do something creative, find a concept. Before that, it was like, oh, we can do show. Do you want a Christmas show? We do a Christmas show. Do you want a country show? We do a country show. And you decide what you want, and customers never know what they want. So when I did this, learned about the concept, I created Gretchen. And Gretchen is the most fabulous person ever. She is very endearing, and she loves everyone. And she will lift you up, but not quite to her level. And that's a gift to humanity. Yeah. It was all at the same time also when Paris Hilton was cool, so I took that as a role model, really cool New York socialite. And I blogged for 3 years on a big Stockholm portal for bloggers, and I got quite high up. It was me and Bianca Ingrosso on the top 5, I think. She was number 1 and I was 5, so we are both doing well. So that was really, really fun. And also, then every request I got was like, oh, can Gretchen do this? Everything I said, like a DJ, MC, wine testing, it's not me who go, oh, I want to do this with you. It's like, could you do this with us? And I was like, yeah, of course I do it. And that is the power of the concept. So I've been enjoying that a lot. I've also guided. It's really fun to guide, especially when you lie. I took a group of 80 people through the society garden, the garden society, Gothenburg Garden Society. And we went around the fountain like 2 or 3 laps before anybody reacted. And they asked, why are we doing this? And I said, I just want to show the 1900s Facebook. If you wanted to get likes, you have to do this. And they bought it. So there we are today. What I've learned is I started out having my drag as an armor. And through that armor, I could try to understand reality by poking and retracting and like that. But the more I worked, the more I've lived, the more those two, Robert and Gretchen, has combined together and become one person. It's different side of the same person, really. And also, the more I dare to be myself when I'm in drag, has made me more successful and more likable, of course, because our girl is fun for like 30 seconds and then you want to shoot the person because it's nothing to talk to. It's just a surface. So the more that they grow together, the better my career has gone, the more fun I have at my jobs, and the more people that I like I meet. So it's a great thing. The real growth happens when you allow multiple versions of yourself to exist at once. You can combine that, say that it is. And also, comfort zones are wonderful places where absolutely nothing happens. I like to do this once a year to challenge myself. If I do a DJ gig, I can do a DJ gig tomorrow and I won't be nervous. Today I was nervous. I am still a little bit nervous, and afterwards I either will cry, and in 2 weeks I will cry a little bit less, and then I will learn from what I've done today. And if it goes well today, I will be very, very happy all day and walk on clouds. So I like to challenge myself as well. It started a couple of years when I hosted Venture Cup. That's the first time I've ever interacted with engineers and found my love of my life. Not a person, but engineers as a profession. And then a couple of years ago, I hosted TEDx, and that was also very nerve-wracking because it's in a total different setting than what I'm used to. I'm used to entertain, and when you entertain, you can still do that, but it's a serious context. And I was really, 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 really nervous, but it paid me back a lot. So I like to challenge myself once in a while. And I think everybody should do that. And it doesn't have to be big, just to go a little bit outside your comfort zone and try something new and see where it takes you. Because everything I've done today is not a plan. I never planned when I was 17 years old when we did Madonna's Vogue that, oh, this is my future. I'm going to host bingo in Stockholm or whatever weird thing I've done. But it ends up there if you just give it is open and give yourself the opportunity. And yeah. So, if you're struggling right now, congratulations, something in you is growing roots. That we can say. And as I started it out, growth isn't pretty, but neither is a seed until it decides to break. Thank you so much.